Hey everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 4th. Hey, we're going to be joined by Tom, Lee, Josh, and Gentry to talk about their specific lakes that they're helping us with. Want to remind you not to forget next week, March the 10th, 11th, and 12th, at the venue, the Alabama Fishing Show and Expo. Bucks Island's going to be there in force. Booths number 52 and 53. We're going to have Bass Cat, Skeeter, and Falcon boats. And we're going to have some kayak displays in there. And, of course, we're going to have some tackle. Look for displays. Look for specials. Look for new stuff. It's going to be great. Have our pros coming through. Have some industry reps coming through. It's going to be great. Come and join us at the Alabama Fishing Show at Expo, March 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Gadsden venue. We hope to see you there. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 4th. Hey, we are joined by Josh Heron, dog trainer extraordinaire, listening to all his tales of his wonderful whiskey. Josh, what's going on the lake? I know you'd probably rather be out there these days.
Yeah, man. We're definitely getting more rain. Dude, I want to be a Tuesday, Wednesday fisherman in Alabama lately. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are
Yep.
gorgeous. For all those who get to go on those days, you're lucky. The water temp's coming up. Fish are getting ready to kind of do their thing, and that's really what I've been focusing on is these areas that these fish are going to stage up to spawn. It's not that much different than their wintertime stuff. The biggest thing is these fish will start getting on this afternoon kind of sunny hard places. These fish will start sunning around some of these docks in the back of these pockets, and you can kind of tell when you're starting to get around them. You'll get especially like when you start throwing a jig and a wacky rig and stuff like that on some of these places. You get a lot of those little bitty short strikes, and that's a lot of these fish that are kind of getting up there milling around, getting ready to do their thing. And so that's really what I've been keying on is some of these shallower flat pockets that are getting a lot of afternoon sun.
I talked to Kyle Jesse from Bassmaster a little bit. He went out there the other day after he got back from Seminole, and they caught 16, 17 pounds on bladed jigs. Heard of some rattle trap bites and stuff like that too. Is that sporadic? Is that something that just kind of depends on the weather?
And that's March at Logan Martin. Trap bite is that's when it rains supreme is in March. Chatterbait that's just a new age trap. Um, so those are traditional patterns that really shine in March at Logan. February used to be like the shad wrap month, but that is strictly dictated on watercolor and current and everything else. So that didn't really play this year. But yeah,
Yep.
no, the trap deals it's coming. Um, and that's just like I said, that's just these fish pushing up in the back of these big flat pockets. It's a lot of chunking and winding, and it's not really like isolated casting at cover. It's just it's covering a lot of ground.
Well, folks, you heard it there. That's what the best thing to do is just keep moving. Look for some flat, shallow pockets with some hard spots in them, and you'll probably put a few fish in the boat at Logan and Lay. Josh, man, as always, we appreciate everything. We'll look forward to seeing you this coming up weekend at the Alabama Fishing Show. We'll talk to you soon, brother. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March the 4th. We are joined by Gentry Gordy, our friend and pro staffer from down there in Columbus area, who spends a bunch of time on Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. I know he actually just finished second at the Alabama Bass Trail there. Got himself a little over 15 pounds, including a big fish. First of all, Gentry, congratulations for that finish, and we're proud of you. Thanks for representing Bucks Island like you do. Tell us how the fishing went.
Well, Martin was, and I appreciate it. And Martin was, it played out a little different than what it had been doing. I guess with those cloudy, just kind of like a dreary couple of days. We didn't get much to look around Friday before the tournament. We had a big fog delay and we was breaking the new boat in. But I keyed in on a little bit of something in a pocket that I've never fished before, when we were stuck in the fog delay. And Saturday morning, I mean, we had a limit fairly quick, but the size wasn't there. This time of year, a lot of times those big fish will move up around those docks, and they wasn't there. The numbers were there, but the quality wasn't. And after lunch, we made a move, and started fishing like the back of pockets where there was a bunch of blowdowns that had washed in, and we started upgrading a little bit. And I had kept a spro popping frog pretty honest. There was sheets of pollen on the water. But, with it warming up, the sun finally coming out, I knew it had to be a matter of time before they would turn on that frog. And luckily, we pulled into a pocket, and 30 minutes before weigh-in, and just the most violent frog uproar. Luckily, I wasn't looking. I had actually looked away, because if I'd have seen that fish coming, she was in 8 inches of water. I'd have probably rookied her and missed the whole thing. But, when she come up and hit,
Yep.
The split second it took me to realize what just happened, I set the hook, and luckily I had given it to her long enough to get her in the boat. It was magic for sure.
You train your whole life to do something, and you do it once. It wasn't luck. All right, let's talk about Jordan Lake a little bit. What's going on over there?
Jordan's firing on all cylinders, Dano. It's I've seen some big weights. Talked to some friends of mine that is just, they're killing them, and it's junk fishing 101. If it's shallow, those fish are moving up. Granted, they're still catching some fish on some deeper walls, deeper areas, but just going down the bank with crankbait, square bill, spinner baits, flipping the jig around a dock. They're there. Them big spots have pulled up with this warm weather.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, folks. Get out there and try to be like Gentry. Hey, buddy, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us again.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 4th. We are joined by our good friend Tom Ott. Tom's Mr. King of Guntersville, as we like to call him. And then he's got St. Jennifer on the back deck with him. Usually they spend a bunch of time on that lake and are going to tell us what's going on Guntersville. Tom, what's happening?
Well, honestly, I think people would call me the jester, but and not the king. But man, I tell you, Dano, right now we're growing duck feathers. We've got about 4 inches of rain. Water's coming up, moving, getting muddy, that kind of thing. But the fish, I don't know that in recent years I've seen such a wave of fish come in so early. Things have just been happening really quick. The lake just kind of exploded in the last week or so. But everybody's catching fish. It's a great time if you got kids. You want to get out there and get them on some bass. Get up in a couple of foot of water and pick you up a Cinco, and you're going to catch them. Just a lot of males moving in, big waves. I think the water fluctuation kind of has to, is going to keep you moving around a little bit to look for those fish. But, not necessarily on the bank, but in the shallower water for sure. All the fish we've been catching have been 3 foot or less. I had a tremendous weekend with a couple over 6 and one just shy of 8. So, anytime you can do that, that's, it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny, you talk about shallow fish and things. I saw a video of Justin Lucas catching a bedded fish in February, and that's unusual. All right, let's turn ourselves to crappie real quick. If the bass are moving up, the crappie got to be going as well, huh?
Absolutely. These fish are, right now I think probably your 6 to 8 foot water is your best. Like seeing a lot of these fish that are really kind of setting down and settling in, not really chasing the bait too much, but doing their spawn thing. Grass lines are a great place to look. Anywhere that you've got some deep water coming in with a shallow flat, and you've got that 6 to 8 foot grass, man, it could be stellar. But the crappie, we're catching big crappie on rattle traps and square bills right now. So, it's unbelievable. The lake is exploding for sure. I just hope that this weather is going to, just make the fish a little bit more predictable where you can catch them. But it's nice. I love it.
Well, you heard it there, folks. You can pretty much do what you want right now. Shallow water for bass. Get in that grass lines and around some of that hard stuff for crappie. Tom, man, as always, brother, we appreciate everything, and we will talk to you again next week.
All right, Dano. Hey, safe travels out there, tight lines, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 4th. Hey, it's the week before the Alabama Fishing Show right here in Gadsden at the venue. This man will probably be bouncing around there a little bit when he's not fishing, but we're joined by Lee Pitts. What's going on at Weiss Lake and Neely Henry right now, Lee?
Well, I'll start with Weiss right now. It's we're still dealing with a whole lot of weather issues. I mean, it's just one of those things that Mother Nature just can't leave us alone right now. We really this last week they've pulled a lot of water off of us, and sent it on down the river, getting ready for some of these rains. But it's just the water temperature in the bays are right. Upriver, you got some 64, 65-degree temps up there. The fish are trying to get there. It's just that water fluctuation is just giving us a hard time. A lot of the fish that we're catching Main Lake downriver are still out there deep. We're pulling 16ths, even some double 16ths out there on them in 20+ foot of water, and these fish are really hugging the bottom right now. It's one of those things where they're wanting to come in. They can't really feel safe about it. Weiss is kind of fishing like two different lakes. You can go upriver in some of these shallower bays, catch fish in 4 or 5 foot of water, and then if you go downriver Main Lake, all of them are still in the mouths of the creeks out there. They're just not really committing to come on up in there yet.
All right, let's talk about bass bite at both of the lakes. What's going on? Which is the better place right now, and what should we be doing?
Right now, the bass bite is pretty good at Weiss. I know this last weekend they had a tournament in Main Lake down there, had probably 50 boats in it, and you had 3 stringers over 20 pounds. So for Weiss this time of year, that's pretty good weight. Most of the guys that I talk to, the fish are shallow. They're coming up. Some of the guys fish for spots out there on the drop offs and some of the hard gravel bars, and still had good 13, 14, 15 pounds catching spots. But the guys that just kind of committed and went to catching those greenheads, and staying up there in knee deep water, they got the bites that they needed. I know there was a 7-pounder caught, and like I said, you look at 3 stringers of 20. That's pretty strong for right now.
So Neely Henry, real quick, in the last 15 seconds, the bass bite, same type of thing, shallow, cranks, bladed jigs, that kind of stuff?
It is, and the fish are trying to get there too. Like I said, right now with so much current we got, you really got to kind of watch where you're going, watch that trash. But the bass bite is picking up at Neely too. The fish are shallow. Even some spinnerbait bites. These guys are throwing some blades around right now and getting some of the better bites with a spinnerbait and a chatterbait.
Well, Lee, as always, man, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again next week. Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 4th. Thank you to everybody for joining in, and of course, thanks to the guys for helping us put a few more fish in the boats when we go fishing. Hey, don't forget, this week, Alabama Fishing Show and Expo right there at the Gadsden venue down there by Coosa Landing. Bucks Island's going to be there March 10th, 11th, and 12th. There'll be seminars. We'll have our pros in the booths number 52 and 53. We'll have bass boats from Skeeter, Falcon, and Bass Cat. We'll have kayak displays, and of course, we're going to have a full tackle wall, 50 feet of grid wall stuffed with tackle, rods, reels, new stuff, specials, discounts, deals, all kinds of stuff. Going to have some of our pros in the booth, some industry reps. Come see me, come see Colin, come see Michael, and the whole Bucks Island team. The Alabama Fishing Show and Expo right there at Gadsden venue, March 10th, 11th, and 12th. We hope to see you there.